So let's talk about this question. So before telling you the question, let me tell you about the table. So in that table, we have our order ID, like order ID, and then we have customers who have ordered something, then in which dates they have ordered, and then I have the order amount also. Now what I want from my table, I want to have my order date in my table, in my result, and what else I need to have? I want to have my new customer. So the customer, how many new customers are there? And then I want to have how many repeated customers are there. So if I will talk about my first date. So as you can see, this is the earliest date. So all of these customer will be new. So three new customers are there and zero repeated. Similarly, if I take my date as 2 Jan 2022. So I want to see how many repeat new customer are there. So you can check it down from your earliest date. So they are like two new customers are there, 400 and your 500, and then 100 is your old customer. So I want one. So I hope you get the question what I want in my result. So how will we do it? Let's see. So what my first thing will be, I will just find out like the customer ID and when they have ordered for the first time. So how will I get when they have ordered for the first time? We can get it with the minimum order date, right? So if I tell you by myself, like for example, I have ordered in first, second, third, all these three things, all these 3 dates. So when have I ordered for the first time? The earliest date, right? The earliest date, which will be my first. So that's why I will have my minimum order date. I hope you get that. If you have any confusion, to let me know. So I will have that only customer ID, comma, minimum order date from my table, customer orders. Then I will just group them. Why will I group them? Because I am using aggregate and a non-aggregate together in my select clause. So I will use customer ID. So by this syntax, I will get all the customer IDs and their first time order date. Okay. I will save it in my CTE and will give it as like first as my alias. And then I will save it in my CTE. So I'm making it as a table that has no existence in my database. So it's like a temporary table with no existence in database, your CTE. So now what will I do? So I will say that now my thing will be, so if my, what will I do now? So if my order date will be same as my first date, then I will count them and will give it as new customer. If it is not same, then I will say it as repeated. So I will have those count only. So for that, we will use aggregate function. And inside aggregate function, we will use case when because we are counting the things. So and for giving the condition, I will use case when. Let me tell you how. So first, I want to have order date. Then I want to count case when where my order date equals to my first date. Then I want to have the count of my then I want to have the count of my order date. I will end my case when and give it as alias as new. So that will be your new customer. Similarly, those who are not equal, I will give them as repeated, right? Whose order date will not be equals to their first, then I will give them as the repeated one. Then order date and I will give it as repeated. So I hope it is clear from your table. From which tables? So I'm taking from my customer orders table. Order date is in this table. So customer order, as well as I am joining it with my CTE because my first is in my CTE. And in which condition? that my C.customer ID should be equals to my CTE.customer ID. And then, as you guys know, we are using aggregate columns with a non-aggregate column. So in group by, we have to give our non-aggregate column, which is my order date. So let's run the syntax and see, are we getting our correct answer? So yeah, we are getting our correct answer. So if you have any other solution for this question, do let me know in the chat box, as well as try to practice this 2-3 times so that you will become expert in these type of questions. Thank you.